Everybody has a hobby, but what if your hobby was to become someone else? Something else. It was Nobuyuki Takashi who came up with the term cosplay. It's a merger of two words, costuming and play, because cosplay is more than dressing up, it's sometimes becoming the character. And that is the basis of cosplay. So who are these people behind the masks? Who are these people who decide to pick up a hot glue gun and start making costumes? My name is Brittany and we're looking into cosplayers. I first met Jawjarrose back at Gold Coast Supernova 2017, and it's through her cosplays that I realised these people are chameleons. When I first met her, she was dressed up as Artemis from Young Justice, and I actually thought that her hair was blonde. And then we went out for a film shoot for her Wonder Woman and Harley Quinn cosplays. And again, she just kept changing her look so quickly. I wanted to get her view on what she loved about cosplay and why she started doing it.
I don't know where to start, honestly. So many things that I can talk about because it's so exciting and there's all this different stuff.
Start at the beginning. What made you get into cosplay?
Originally, in about grade 10, I had a friend, she was into Vocaloid and she was like, hey, I'm going to cosplay Megarina Luca, I think that's how you pronounce it. That she bought the outfit and modified it off eBay and bought a wig, and so did I. It was just like little pocket money we'd collected together and purchased, and we went to Brisbane Supernova and we had a group, and there was like other large group of Vocaloids, and it was so exciting. And someone came up to me, I remember, I was Rin, and my boyfriend at the time was Len, and she came up to me and she was like, you were just the best Rin ever. And like, she had put so much effort into it. She had like contacts on and I don't wear contacts, and I was just so taken aback that she thought that I was the best because I thought she was amazing, and I loved the like support that everyone gave each other. Once I found cosplay through my friend, it made sense to do it. Like I was representing myself and characters that I love, and I was also able to express myself and create beautiful new things and experiment with different medias and techniques, fabrics, and teaching myself so many skills, which I found so exciting. Yeah.
So, what is cosplay to you?
Cosplay for me is sort of my ultimate hobby at the moment.
Now, technically, I'm not actually new to cosplay. I've known about cosplay specifically since high school. However, I haven't really put that much effort into my costumes. It's usually just been a few purchased pieces put together that mildly, very mildly resemble a character. But no one really knew who I was, what I was dressed as. I was even asked if I was specifically in cosplay. So on top of investigating why people get into cosplay and what can grow from it, I thought I might actually try my hand at a proper cosplay. And this has been something I wanted to do since Gotham City Garage was announced. I saw the statue for Batgirl and I thought, that's awesome. I don't need to make a cowl, so I should be able to do this. I purchased a hat, goggles, a jacket online. I got a white t-shirt from a local store, ironed on a bat symbol, which I had to try and make up a little bit because the whole symbol wasn't ever shown in those comics at the time or on the statue. It's probably getting to over $100 quite easily, and at this point I'm still not finished. The biggest thing about this cosplay is I kind of decided to do it when I saw the statue, and I didn't look closely at the statue. With Batgirl's costume, her t-shirt is quite short and her midriff shows, which to a lot of people, that's no problem. I'm quite a reserved person in the way that I dress, more so today. but I'm usually jeans and a t-shirt. I don't like showing off my midriff. I don't like showing skin. That's just me. I don't feel comfortable. And to be honest, I don't know whether or not I want to be as accurate to the costume and show my midriff. I could get away with just a t-shirt. But also recently I interviewed Team Mountain Ash for the Novastream network. They are a lovely pair that is actually split between Brisbane and Sydney, and they work together to form all these different types of cosplay.
So I wanted to sit down with Team Mountain Ash to discuss what they've learned along the way and how some of their costumes have built their confidence.
So for people outside of cosplay, how do you describe this hobby, or in some cases business?
Oh gosh. Usually I just say we dress up in costumes and then I show them pictures and they're like, oh no, that's really cool.
I always use a sports comparison because I know nothing about sports except for the fact that hardcore sport fanatics tend to dress up in their team's colors. And I think of cosplay as kind of like that level of fan in the geeky and nerdy circles, because we're going, I love this team, whether it's DC, Marvel, you know, any other universe, Star Trek, Star Wars, and you're saying, I want to wear that character out, and I want everyone to know that I love this character and this world, and I want people to come up to me and have that conversation. Like, the thing about wearing those characters is that you're inviting that conversation in. So be like, oh my gosh, I love Batman. Yeah. Oh my gosh, how great is, you know, the new Marvel Avengers films. And you're like, cool, yeah, let's have this discussion.
One of the costumes we talked about on the Novastream interview is that the Spider-Gwen outfit built your confidence. And so, Emma, what about going through that process built your confidence in, like, what was it about the suit? What was it about your experience that day or days?
It's really just the whole skin tight outfit and being in public in something that's so completely, like, essentially transparent to what my body will look like underneath was horrifying to me. I'm very shy and reserved person, and the entire time we were getting ready, I'm just like, oh my god, I can't actually go outside in this. I can't go outside in this. I actually took like a pair of like shorts with me to put on in case I felt like too horrified once I actually got out there. But you know, once I actually got into the costume, I actually got to the convention, and everyone was just like, it was like normal. Yeah. It was totally normal, and no one it was like there's nothing weird or no like uncomfortable comments or anything. Everyone was like just excited to see someone else in costume, and it was just such a normalizing experience that just being there, by the end of the day, I also felt much more comfortable in my own body as well.
And along with self-confidence, what other things are you learning through cosplay, or even gaining?
You want to go first?
Oh, well, friends for one.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well, we've made a lot of friends actually through cosplay, and we're getting to cosplay with other people. So it's kind of expanding, like, I guess, our own abilities at cosplay and our social networks.
Yeah.
As well.
I mean, I would have definitely classified us as introverts like a couple of years ago. A few years ago, we were definitely. I mean, I've always been loud, but I have not always been like super confident in going out to things with lots of people, especially. I'm like, oh, I'd rather not. And now it's just like, I'm on board for, you know, going to these cons and hanging out with a whole bunch of people and just being like, hello, strangers, let's go cosplay. And you're just like, yes, that was a great day.
So what about other people who may be watching this now and looking at costumes that they want to do or cosplays that they want to do that are outside their comfort zones? What would you say to encourage them in doing that, in going for those different cosplays?
I would say as long as you feel like passionate about that character, you should definitely pursue them, no matter your body type, no matter your concerns about how you fit that character. Like, oh, some people go, oh, I'm not tall enough, or I don't have a six-pack, or I'm not strong enough. Like, I'd love to be She-Hulk, but I don't have, you know, amazing biceps yet. And like, I can come to the conclusion that I can still be She-Hulk and just not be as buff as the comics might portray it, because very few Wolverine cosplayers are ever going to have, I don't know, thighs the size of buses, because what's drawn and what's made in movies are very different. And I think you need to let that go and just be like, this is a reimagining of the character that you love, and however you do it is perfect, because it's just the way it needs to be for you. There's no rules, so don't get caught in the details. Just go, I want to do it. I'm going to start working out how to sew and glue things. That'd be my advice, is that if you do it, if you can make it. And if you can't make it, find other cosplayers who can. Networking is key.
I just saw Jumanji last night, and I thought Ruby Roundhouse was very funny. She was cool. But I also thought, I have a burgundy shirt, I have green shorts. Why don't I try a little kind of cosplay thing? Her midriff shows, which is the same as the Gotham City Garage costume. So I took some photos, but will I put them up? But I guess how they go and how I feel about that will say whether or not I do the midriff for my Gotham City Garage costume. Yeah. That'll be interesting. I did a little bit of trial and error, and I think I've come to an image that I'm actually happy with. It's very different from the original, very different to what I thought I was going to choose. So I'm going to post this one, and I'm interested to see how it goes. Like Emma and Lauren just said, cosplay is such a great way to grow your network and your social circle. But for some people, it's also a business opportunity. Andrew Latomsky, aka Thor of Oz, is a personal trainer who has merged PT and cosplay to his advantage, and is even an ambassador for a sports nutrients. After a 97.3 competition where Andrew's cosplay was centre stage, I got to sit down with him to discuss how he turned his cosplay into a business. So with cosplay, where did you get your start in that? How did you decide to become Thor of Oz?
It kind of chose me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Long story short, I actually wanted to be a professional wrestler.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was training to do that. Growing out my hair as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted the sort of unique look that comes with professional wrestling. You know, you need to have an angle, you need to have a persona. At the same time, the comments started coming in. You know, you look like this character Thor. And to be honest, I knew very little about it, so I had to look into it and research Thor and who he was. And then I sort of researched into, you know, the pop culture and the conventions and the whole dressing up, or what I then found out was cosplay. So I made my own Thor costume and went to my very first convention, which was Oz Comic Con, Melbourne. You know, completely new to the scene. Went to my first ever convention, had a blast. It was so much fun. Although the first convention I went to, I actually ran into the representatives from Marvel. I vaguely remember having a conversation with one of them to say, oh, you know, you really look the part. You know, you could potentially get a job doing this. You know, proper job doing this. So I was like, oh, okay.
And that's fantastic to be able to take something that is a craft or a hobby and not only just be paid for that craft and hobby, but also be paid for events. Like we've just witnessed one for 97.3 where you've come up from Melbourne to be a part of this event, which is incredible. Where did you start to become the ambassador for bulk nutrients?
So that came a little bit later. My whole interest was entertaining, just what the professional wrestling was, and then I kind of figured out, you know, doing the Thor cosplay, I could do that without the physical side of it. I had the Thor thing going. I approached bulk nutrients because I've been using their products for, I don't know, since they first started, which, you know, it's probably 8-9 years ago. And I just said, hey, look, this is what I'm doing at the moment. I do this Thor character at conventions, and I actually get asked a lot at these conventions, you know, what's your fitness regime? What do you do? I sort of thought, well, there's probably something here, you know, we can go with.
Yeah.
So I said to bulk nutrients, these are the sorts of questions I get asked at these conventions.
So it's really from your cosplay that you've been able to gain business, because I see that you do some personal training as well for different cosplayers.
Yep.
So being Thor of Oz is a business angle.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep. To start off with, it wasn't. It was just something that I was doing for fun. However, when I did the first conventions as Thor, I was doing some additional training for my PT, and so those two sort of just came together at the right time. And again, it just starts off with ideas and having fun, and it just sort of expands into like you said, like, you know, business ideas or business opportunity.
You don't only just go to conventions. I've seen you on Sunrise. I saw you in the background of the Today Show the other day.
Yeah.
But even the Australian Open, you got to go to that.
Yes.
What was that event like?
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I played Roger Federer and Caroline Wozniacki in a doubles match with Djokovic as my partner, so Novak Djokovic.
Yeah.
It was a fun thing for the kids, obviously, and it was the kids' tennis day. But to be on court with those three, you know, superstars, the three biggest names in tennis, was unreal.
Before you became Thor of Oz, you were a personal trainer. And how much has being the cosplayer Thor of Oz, how much has that affected your business?
I guess I'm looking at more of a niche market or group of trainees now. You know, the general population can really benefit from fitness and fitness instructors and personal trainers. But I find interacting with people who have that common interest of, you know, pop culture and superheroes, it just gives it another, I don't know, another element, like you relate a little bit more with these people. Yeah, it's...
Your biggest advice for someone who is starting perhaps into cosplay and maybe thinking of doing something similar, incorporating into a business, what would you say to them?
Look, you really got to approach it as a business. To begin with, I didn't. Again, it was just something I thought was a bit of fun, and I had too much fun with it, and I thought if I can put in a little bit of work and approach it as a business, I can have fun doing my job.
Right about now, today is Sunday, so that's Melbourne Supernova is happening today, last day. Next week is Gold Coast Supernova, and while there I will be wearing my costume for the first time out in public. I've reached the point with the cosplay that I am happy with it. I've got the hat, I've got the goggles, the jacket, and the shirt. Let's just say my cosplay is ready, and I am so eager to go out to Gold Coast Supernova and film some fantastic cosplayers if all this glue sticks together.
Okay guys, we have seen why people start to cosplay. We have seen how cosplay can become a business and can grow your circle of friends. Now, let's go see cosplay in action.
While taking a break from my own cosplay and from filming, I decided to see what cosplay meant to the people on the floor of Supernova. But it had to be in one word.
Bloody hell.
What one word could I use?
One word, they'd be more like guidelines anyway.
One word, cosplay.
Community.
Amazing. Late nights.
It's an outlet.
I think I'm ready.
Self-expression, those two words.
Fun.
It's mighty fine, lass.
Fun.
It's happiness. Enjoyment.
Cosplay means community.
Excitement. Challenging.
Having fun. With a friend. That's it.
Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of hot glue into figuring out why people cosplay and what everyone can benefit from cosplay. I had a ball here down at Gold Coast Supernova. I've worn my Batgirl Gotham City Garage cosplay. It was great fun. Of course I was a little bit nervous in wearing my midriff top, but you know what? I had such a good time. I want to thank Novastream as well for giving me access to a lot of different footage and as well as bringing me to Supernova on the Gold Coast. Thank you again once more for joining me here on the Gold Coast. This is the end of Saturday. I've still got more filming to go, but you know what? I won't be wearing this tomorrow. And that is the problem when you don't use hot glue.
Do a funny runaway again. camera looking for you.